of the match coming out now. Captain of the day, Daniel Tinubu in front. Yuma Wagwa also in front. On the side. We see Osagi. What is he doing there? While we see Kazu Inaya. Ampia Emmanuel.
Yes, that was the game between Plateau United and Rivers United at the Jos Township Stadium yesterday evening, and it was a good one. It was a good game for Plateau United. They actually won that game 3-2. It ended 2 penalties for Rivers United, and it was a good one for the home team. On that note, I welcome you to the program 360 Sports on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashemi. In the course of the show, we are going to get to that. We will look at that result properly, discuss about it, and then look at where Plateau United and Rivers United are on the Nigerian Premier League football table. And I have Isaac Omidije, all the way from Bida, Niger State, that will be joining me on the show this lovely Friday morning from Bida, that's Niger State. Okay, let's begin from this particular story. It's a fantastic one, a good one. We'll start with wrestling before we go to football and what have you. Okay, let's start with this particular story, not wrestling now. Let's start from the NFF, where the NFF president on Tuesday night, where the dinner party, or the dinner sent forth party for the Super Eagles. During that program, the NFF president, that's Ibrahim Musa Gusso, came out to actually say yes, to cut down costs this time around. All national team assistant coaches will be paid invitational allowance. No more salary, but rather once you are being invited, you will get your invitational allowance. And also he has now given the powers to the head coaches to choose their own assistant, which the NFF president said on Tuesday night right there in Lagos, where the sent forth dinner party was held for the Super Eagles. All right, I have Isaac Omidije all the way from Bida, Niger State, to react to this and other stories we have on the show. Isaac, welcome to 360 Sports. Now, the NFL president said they want to cut down costs. No more salaries for the assistant coaches. Now, the head coaches have the power to select, to choose their own assistant, but the thing is, they will be paid invitational allowance, not salary anymore. I don't know if that is a good move. The reason is that he said they want to cut down cost.
Yes, thank you, Emmanuel, and Happy New Year to you.
Yes, of course.
This is the first time I'm appearing on Trust TV this year, and it's a great one. The last time I saw you on Trust TV was last year.
Yes,
of course. Away from that, let's talk about the NFF. You see, the decision of the NFF to cut costs is not a bad thing, because even the federal government is doing everything possible to cut costs and see how they can save money because of the bad economy, because of shortage of funds. But I'm worried about some things. Is this a period where we should be cutting costs, and the people we should be cutting costs from are active participants in the game? I hope the NFF president will also cut costs in the sense that those who will be going for African populations who don't have business going there from the NFF will also not go there. That's another way of cutting costs. The number of people who will go with them, the number of aides that will go with the NFF president, NFF's general secretary, NFF technical committee chairman, I hope they will also reduce the number of aides that will also be going with them. While speaking on that, he said most of these assistant coaches do nothing. Why would he say they do nothing? If the assistant coaches don't have roles to play, they will not be appointed in the first place. And don't be surprised, the success of most and failure of most of these technical advisors lies with the assistant coaches who are always behind the scenes when it comes to training. Instead, you go to training and you see the assistant coaches just standing. What did they expect them to be doing? Lying down, sitting down? And also, he also said most of these assistant coaches have problems with their technical advisors because it's not the technical advisors or the chief coaches that appointed them. I agree with that. I don't even agree with the situation of where you appoint a assistant coach for a coach, allow the coach to determine who you want. That I agree with. And if you are ready to even pay the assistant coach from your own salary, no problem. Invitational allowance, good. You are cutting costs that way. He is trying to tell them that they should go and look for a job elsewhere. For example, someone like Kennedy George is the technical advisor of Enyimba. Still being a assistant coach of Super Eagles is earning 2 salaries. So paying invitational allowance is not a bad one. But he's also trying to say that chief coaches who are also chief coaches of other club sides and for the national team will also be getting only invitational allowance, not just even the assistant coaches this time around. So if you are even the technical advisor of, for example, the under-17 national team, and you are a chief coach of, for example, Katsina United, you will not be paid full salaries, but you'll be getting invitational allowance because this national team don't play all the time. They don't play every month. They don't play week in, week out. So instead of tying them down to salaries, it helps to cut costs. I understand, but by saying that assistant coaches are not doing anything, I disagree with that.
Okay, I actually also disagree with that statement by he's saying that the assistant coaches are not doing anything. But like you said, it's a smart move so that at least when you pick your own assistant, whenever they are coming into the camp, they'll be getting invitation allowances. I would have loved that if the NFS president can withdraw that statement by saying they are not doing anything, because they also discuss with the head coach. They put heads together to see how they can get victory in all of the games. But for him to say they are not doing anything, I think that is below the belt for him to say that to all of our national team assistant coaches. But let's see how it goes. He says he wants to cut down cost, and probably the cost we are definitely going to cut down. But is it that the only assistant coaches, because whenever these national teams are traveling, we know a lot of persons that go with them. Why not also touch those areas?
Yes, and that was why I said when this national team are traveling, there are lots of irrelevant people who go with them. There are a lot of people in the NFF who don't have business traveling with the national team coaches. Don't be surprised if we have the House of Representatives chairman on sports, Senate chairman on sports, traveling even with the Super Eagles on the budget of the NFF, on the budget of the federal government. this is where we should cut costs. Those people have no business going there. Let them sit them at home and watch the way we are also going to watch.
TV.
If you don't have business there, you should have that.
Okay, let's see how it goes. But for the assistant coaches, the NFF president should, in a way, try to that statement by saying they are not doing anything. He should just try to withdraw that statement from the media space. All right, let's move ahead from that story. Let's go to the next story. We cannot stop talking about the AFCON. We just have 24 hours, less than 24 hours to the kickoff of AFCON 2023 in Cote d'Ivoire, and it is not a good news coming in from the Super Eagles camp. The third injury blow to that team, and I don't know why it's happening at this point in time. It was not a good one last night, yesterday evening, precisely for Sadiq Umar. That news filtered in all the way from Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, that Sadiq Umar has been injured, and we have Paul Onuachu to replace Sadiq Umar. This season alone, Paul Onuachu have played 15 games with 9 goals to his name in his new home in Turkey on loan from Saturday. Now, Isaac Omidije, I'm worried. Kelechi Iheanacho is there. Now Sadiq Umar is gone. We know Kelechi Iheanacho will also be joining that team today with Terry Murphy precisely over the weekend. But I don't see them maybe playing the first game. We only have Victor Osimhen now as the only fit striker in that squad. What is going on? Sadiq Umar couldn't train. He trained separately before it was confirmed that he has been injured.
At a point when the news of Sadiq Umar filtered in, I was like, will the coaches just stop Victor Osimhen for even training at all? Let him just sit down. So it's like even training now is a problem. And if Victor Osimhen got injured, then it's all over. Because we don't have a recognized striker anymore. He is the only recognized striker we have now. Terry Murphy will not be released until after playing this weekend game for his club side in France. So he's not even going to be part of the first game. And Kelechi Iheanacho, yes, he has been declared fit, but he's also not going to be part of the first game. He's even yet to be in camp. So, and when he gets to camp, I think the doctors will also assess him. He will train. And he is not also a clinical or the kind of person you call a number 9 striker. No, he is not. So, we are going into this tournament with just one prolific goal scorer, and that is Victor Osimhen. So, if anything happens to Victor Osimhen, we are as good as out. Already, and this is not making me happy, not just because the players are out, but because it's going to serve as an excuse for Jose Peseiro to defend his failure. You know, he will tell you that injury is his problem. And people will start looking at that it's true. Victor Boniface got injured, Wilfred got injured, Sadiq Umar got injured. But the truth is, you and I know that Sadiq Umar wouldn't have played a critical part of that team. He will have been probably a player that will be coming in from the bench. That is, if at all he's going to play. We already know the kind of players Peseiro loves. He has already shown that and demonstrated that. And Paul Onuachu coming in to replace Sadiq Umar is not a bad one, like for like, in terms of height, in terms of the way they love to play, in terms of the kind of goals they love to score. But we need to play to the strength of these players we are bringing in, because Paul Onuachu is completely different from Victor Osimhen. Completely different from Victor Boniface, completely different from Taiwo Awoniyi, who is also out of this tournament. So it's something that the team needs to really work around and see. And this time around, our midfielders, our wingers, likes of Lookman Ademola and the likes of Samuel Chukwueze must come to the party. Alex Iwobi must also come to the party. They must also contribute in terms of goals. These guys have goals in them. So if they need to do that, to dig in and get goals, they need to get in and support Victor Osimhen, because all eyes will be on Victor Osimhen. He's the reigning African Footballer of the Year. The developers know how strong he is, so they will do everything possible to ensure that he didn't succeed by getting them by getting them to score goals in the tournament. So we must look at other players this time around, so that we can divert attention away from Victor Osimhen and the likes of Lookman Ademola, the likes of Samuel Chukwueze, the like of Alex Wood should be able to come up and support the goals as well. Okay,
they should be able to come up and support the goal. Now let's look at these. Let's look at it the other way around. Now, the invitation of Paul Onuachu for the replacement of Sadiq Umar. Do you support that move? Why don't we look for Okay, we have a Mizo from Bayelsa United who has just made his way to Al Ahly Benghazi of Libya just days ago in transfer, and he was given an award before leaving the shores of the Nigeria. He plays for Bayelsa United in the Nigerian Premier Football League. We have a couple of other strikers like Sikiru Alimi and co. We have this other guy in Bendel Insurance. Do you think why wouldn't have maybe gone for the MPFS striker to replace Sadiq Umar instead of Paul Onuachu?
Jose Pesero, in his first provisional 40-man list, already ruled out any possibility of any MPFL player apart from Jolo Olike making a team. So all these other strikers you've mentioned are on the 40-man provisional list. So if you are picking a replacement, the replacement should come from the 40-man provisional list. And that was why what qualified what's his name?
Paul Onuachu
to replace Sadiq Umar. We would have loved to see the like of Sikiru Alimi, Midzo coming in to support, at least gain the experience. They can even be the spoilers. They can be one of those who majority of these players in the continent don't even know them. So they can take the continent and the tournament by storm and get right at them on gold.
Yes,
unfortunately, they were not even the 40-man list. So that has automatically, technically ruled them out of replacing any injured player for now.
Okay, let's say I'd go. Paul Onuachu will be joining the team, but he will not be the part of the first game against Equatorial Guinea on the 14th of January. We just have less than 24 hours to the kickoff of the Nations Cup 2023 to be played in Cote d'Ivoire. The fever is actually getting higher and higher. I know Nigerians are expecting, some Nigerians are not expecting. Well, I'm hopeful that the Super Eagles will have a very good outing in Cote d'Ivoire. They just need determination and play as a team, and then we are good to go. All right, let's leave that story. We'll be talking more on the Super Eagles participation in the AFCON. They want to win the 4th title. Let's see how it goes with Jose Pesero in charge. All right, let's come back home proper. Let's quickly go straight to Plateau State. That is Jos Township Stadium, where the rescheduled game between Plateau United and Rivers United went down yesterday evening, and it was 3-2, 5-goal thriller in that game. Rivers United coming all the way from Port Harcourt, they got the beating of their life. 3-2 it ended. They got 2 penalties, one in the first half, second penalty in the second half of that game, and eyebrow was raised concerning those penalties. I'm not a referee, but the referee deemed it fit that it was a penalty. But at the end of the day, they lost that game to Plateau United. 3-2 it ended in favor of the home team. And if you look at it, I think Plateau United have also made their home ground a fortress. But let's not forget that it's only Doma United this season that has not lost any game at home. And you know where Doma United is on the Nigerian Premier League football table. They are 3rd. We'll be looking at the table. But Isaac, I want you to react quickly to this result at the Jos Township Stadium between Plateau United and Rivers United of Port Harcourt. Well,
you should expect that from 2 sides that are former champions of the MPFL. Plateau United were former champions. Rivers United were former champions. And sides are also in need of points, especially Rivers United, because of their continental engagement. They will not be able to play some games. So this is one of the rescheduled games. It didn't go well for them because I know they will be looking for 3 points. Because if you look at it, the position for 1, 2, 3, 4 position on the log is getting stiffer. So Rivers United know that for them to even qualify for the continent next season, they must do everything possible to break into the first 3 or first 4 on the league table. And unfortunately, Plateau United denied them that. For the penalties, I didn't actually see much of what resulted to those penalties, so I cannot really comment on that. But it happens. If they are well-deserved penalties, good. It's only sad that if without those penalties, they will have considered 3 unreplied goals. So Plateau United made good use of their home advantage, and they scored 3 goals. So despite the 2 penalties got by Rivers United, they were able to still win the game. So it shows the resilience of Plateau United.
Yes, he showed the resilience of Plateau United. Let's go look at the table and see how things are shaping up with that win for other teams and also for Plateau United. The first of the table, we have Remo Stars topping the table with 32 points and 11 goal difference. We have Lobby Stars second with 32 points and 6 goal difference. Doma United, like I mentioned, they are in the third with 31 points and 7 goal difference. Enyimba is on the fourth position with 29 points, and Plateau United have shoot up to the fifth position with that win, having 28 points and leapfrogging Kano Pillars on to leave them on the sixth position with 2 goal difference on the same number of points with Plateau United. And Shooting Stars of Ibadan is on the 10th position with 22 points. Let's see where Rivers United is standing on the Nigerian Premier League football table. Let's look at the flip side, the second side of the table quickly. We now have Rivers United on the 17th position, but you've seen the number of games they've played, 13 games. They still have 4 more games outstanding to go, and if they win those games, they will have 12 points. If you add 12 points to 17 points, then you should know where they will occupy on the Nigerian Premier League football table. That is, if they win those 4 games. They've played lesser games than any other team in the Nigerian Premier Football League because of their engagement in the continent. All right, let's leave the MPFL and go straight to Europe. Let's quickly stop over at the German Bundesliga. We're going to talk about a particular Nigerian, the second Victor, who we are not happy that he's injured, and he will be out for 3 good months until April before he comes back to action. But after a successful surgery yesterday, right there in Germany, he has come out to say, okay, he hails the impact of Xabi Alonso and the man from Arsenal, Granit Xhaka, for their influence on him since he left Belgium for Germany. And if you look at it, 16 games to his name with 10 goals and 7 assists. This player won the Rookie Player of the Month back to back 3 times in a row, and he also was in contention for Player of the Month. He won one, and he beat Hurricane to some of those awards in Germany. Now he has come out to say that Granit Xhaka and Xabi Alonso actually had great influence on him since he joined the German outfit Bayer Leverkusen.
Yes, and one major thing he said was that he is a team player that believes that as long as his team is winning, then there's no problem. As long as whether he scores or not, as long as the team is winning, there's no problem. But the coach, Xabi Alonso, told him, no, you have the physique and the strength and potential of a certain Didier Drogba. So go in there and find in goals. So those words motivated him, and that added to the impetus he needed to succeed in the Bundesliga. And he has continued to take the Bundesliga by storm this season. Unfortunately, he's going to be out for the next 3 months. He'll be returning in April. I hope by that time, the club, Bayer Leverkusen, will still be able to maintain its superiority at the top of the German Bundesliga table, because his goals have been very instrumental. He's an highest goal scorer currently, 10 goals, 7 assists, wonderful. So I hope they'll be able to sustain that tempo, because Victor Boniface winning the Bundesliga will be a good thing for his CV, as well as Xabi Alonso. Xabi Alonso has won everything. So you'll definitely be able to motivate him to go the extra mile to get good results for himself, for his team, and for his career. So when you have a good manager like that, who is interested in your personal development, it's good for you as a player. And for Granit Xhaka, a no-nonsense midfielder, he left Arsenal, he came back to Bayer Leverkusen, and he has continued to show why he is, if not the headest, but one of the talisman of that team. And if you notice, even off the pitch, he has been very close to Victor Boniface. So both characters have been very influential in his life. And I hope that by the time we're done in April, he will only be coming to consolidate and ensure that he win the Bundesliga in May.
Yes, he will be coming back in April to consolidate and make sure that they actually win the Bundesliga. You can take this to the bank. They are the only team in Europe not to have lost any game at all. They are still counting. No loss in all of the games they have played, even at in the league and then in the European competition. They are in the Europa League. And Victor Boniface also has some good goals, 5 goals in the Europa League. All right, still staying in Europe. Let's quickly go straight to Spain. But this game was not decided in Spain. It was played inside Saudi Arabia. Now it's going to be the second Clasico of the season between Real Madrid and Barcelona in the Spanish Super Cup final. That game will be coming up over this weekend, or Sunday precisely. But last night, Barcelona beat Osasuna 2-0 goal. Robert Lewandowski getting one of those goals for Barcelona. But quickly, on Sunday night, it's going to be between the two giants in La Liga playing the final. They also met in the final last season, 3-1 in favor of Barcelona last season to lift the Super Cup. Do you think it's going to repeat? A repeat of that will happen again on Sunday night, Isaac?
I don't think so. I think this time around, Real Madrid will be able to, get what they deserve, because they have been the better sides. They've been, getting everything right, despite so many injuries to the team. But one good thing again is, a Clasico is not a game you can just decide on the front of the television or sitting behind the microphone, because a team that is playing badly prior to the El Clasico might turn the game on its head, and you see the whole thing going its way. But for Barcelona, I think they will be under pressure. They know that they won last year. They want to repeat the same thing. And for the Bernabeu guys, they will not want it to repeat itself. Thank God it's a neutral ground, so it will be good for football. We will see wonderful football, and I'm rooting for the best team to get it.
Okay, you are rooting for the best team to get it. Barcelona want to win it a record 15 times. Last time they won it, what made it 14th win of the Spanish Super Cup, and it was against Real Madrid. Let's see if they are going to win the 15th title also against the last season team they met in the final. Still staying in Europe, let's quickly go straight to Italy, where we have one result in the Coppa Italia, and with that they will be playing Lazio in the semi-final. It was 4-0 drubbing of Frosinone in the Coppa Italian quarter-final result. It was a cup game also, and let's leave Italy and we'll look at these two transfer stories on the show before we call it a wrap on the show. Now, Tottenham signed Radu Dragunsin from Genoa, fantastic defender. He's one defender that Tottenham has looked forward to, and this time around they've gotten him from Genoa. And let's quickly go straight to this next one. For this man, he's happy. When I actually saw the clips of that signing, you see you see the smiles, they laugh at him. That's to tell you he's happy going back home. That is for Manchester United, Jadon Sancho, who has returned to Borussia Dortmund for on loan. Now, Isaac, quickly in just one statement, one sentence, for Jadon Sancho going back to Borussia Dortmund, do you think is what is good one for this young man?
Yes, good, because he has refused to apologize. So if he has remained at United, he will not play. So going back to where he succeeded, there's every likelihood that he will get the support to succeed again.
Okay, he's going to get the support to succeed again. It was all smile from this man when he was signing that particular contract. All right, that is where we'll leave it on 360 Sports. Isaac, thanks for joining me on the show this lovely morning.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel.
All right, that is it from Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi saying thanks for watching.